So I'm an improviser. I've been doing improv for a long time now. Recently, in the past, 5 years? No, more than that, 8 years. I've been taking so many classes. I've been performing a lot, learning the theory of it. And a lot of people said, yo, I can do improv, that's easy peasy lemon squeezy. But if you're really interested in improv, I'm going to break down some improv from famous people. And the first one is one of the people who got me interested in improv in the first place. That's Tina Fey. I'm basically going to go through some of Tina Fey's improv and break down what is happening, why it's good, why it's not good, and teach you kind of the techniques that she's using. So first up is going to be her appearance on My Next Guest Needs No Introduction with David Letterman. She talks about improv and they do a little scene together.
You and I, so you say you and I are, let's say a little location, where would we be that where two people would fit?
So starting off the bat, that's called the gets. Usually you'll ask for something simple like a non-geographical location. You might ask for just a general object or word or a relationship between two people.
We're at the beach, so we're at the beach. Whatever I say, you
great.
agree to it, and you add some new information.
Okay. Yes, and that's a concept you learn your first day of improv classes. So Dave, if you don't get this.
All right, let's go.
So starting off, I know I'm pausing a lot. Tina goes right into it. She does something that I like to do is just start with object work. She's putting sunscreen on. And she did it as soon as Dave said, let's go. But as you can see, Dave is still sitting back in his chair. Look, this isn't about Dave, but he's awful at improv. I'm just going to say, not every comedian is good at every aspect of comedy.
What do you got there?
Okay, so Dave says, what do you got there? That's immediately what you don't say. That immediately takes the audience out of the scene. Even if you legitimately don't know what the other person's doing, just do something yourself. And then later what you'll do is something called justification. If what you're doing is you don't know you're at the beach and you're doing something completely different, you're sawing wood, later you'll justify why you're sawing wood at the beach when you understand where you are and that you are at the beach.
You can say whatever you want.
Okay.
She's being nice.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Getting pretty burned.
Yeah.
She's doing great. She's continuing her object work. She offers something, you're gonna get burned. She's starting a scene. She's starting the dialogue. He could easily do something like either yes and yes, I'm going to get burned and I love the fact that I'm going to get burned, or oh no, I don't want to get burned, give me some of that sunscreen. Not immediately funny things, but that's correct improv.
So you're smart to put the imaginary lotion on.
Oh, you're making me mad, sir. It's not imaginary lotion.
Oh, that seems like an excellent idea.
He's yes-anding it.
Not as dumb as I look.
Oh no, he's not yes-anding it. He's yes-butting it.
How could you be?
Awesome. Yeah, so that's the end of the scene. Tina, basically what she did is he created hostility, and it's fine to do that, from his character by saying, I could do that, but I'm not as dumb as I look, creating a tension between the two characters. And she heightened that by saying, how could you be? I think that was a bit of Tina herself being like, this is an awful scene, I'm gonna end it now. One blow line, and that's called a blow line. It's basically the last line of your scene. Actually, the term blow line comes from back when theaters used to use candlelight and flames instead of spotlights. And the blow line would be the last line of a play or a scene. They would say the line, and then they would blow out the candles so you know that the show's over or the scene is over. Shows how to do bad improv. Let's talk about how to do some good improv.
What's that? Ham.
So this is ASCAP. This is Upright Citizens Brigade, and they're doing their format and show, and you'll see how it's done. So Amy's getting a get right now.
Ham. First thing I heard, ham.
Ham. So Tina Fey's walking up, and now she's going to give a monologue. This is a format known as the Armando, and basically, I think there was just some dude named Armando, and they named it after him, but it's where they get a word of inspiration, and we'll do a monologue based off of that. And then...
Ham makes me think of a country food. I grew up in the suburbs of Philadelphia, and we didn't eat, and my mom is Greek American, and we didn't eat a lot of ham. It's sort of, to me, it's a very white people food.
So this is great so far. I'm sorry, I'm stopping a lot because there's so much she's giving. And so basically, when you're giving a monologue in an Armando, you are yourself. You a lot of times will tell a story, and she's going right into it. You can tell Tina is a very present person in her comedy, which is really important as an improviser. So she's going in, starting immediately. The first thing that comes to her mind. Actually, what you should do is watch the back line. So basically, the back line is the people behind. So that's Ian, that's Rachel Dratch, that's Amy Poehler, Horatio Sanz. They're watching intently. They're listening. They're picking out moments that they could later use in a scene.
There was a lot more ham down in Virginia. I had a roommate down there who actually used to eat ham salad, which is chopped up ham.
Look at Amy here. I love watching Amy Poehler watch comedians, if that makes sense. So she's someone who's also very present in her comedy, and she's someone who's very supportive both in improv and in life. She's amazing. So you can see her, even her face right now, she's like smiling. She's so listening in. She's watching her friend. She's laughing. She's finding bits that she thinks are funny that she can bring back later in a scene.
Personality trait. We're like, oh, he is a ham.
That was really cool and really fun, how what she did there. What is my hair doing? She could have continued off the ham salad and started talking about her roommate in college, and nothing to do with ham now, we're just talking about the roommate. Or she could find a new topic that has to do with ham. That's cool. So at that point, you can see her thinking out loud, and I think that's so fun.
I grew up outside Philadelphia, and there was this local show in Philadelphia called the Al Alberts Show.
I love
Showcase.
Yeah, the Al Alberts Showcase. I love that detail. Something like that. Name it. You're talking about like, oh, back in summer camp, there was this kid. Don't just say this kid. Name the child or give it a fake name.
And I would watch it because I was super jealous of it, and I wanted to be on it so bad.
I love that energy she has. So bad. She's getting into the story because she's talking about something personal. She's talking about something she's passionate about one way or the other. As a child, she really cared about the show, clearly. And because of that, there's plenty to pick from and there's plenty to talk about.
And this guy, Al Alberts, he had been a singer in the 50s in this group. And the thing with that show was that they had, he had discovered Andrea McArdle, who was
Specificity.
The original Annie, I think, and he had discovered her on that show. And from that moment on, every week was just a clawing, desperate attempt to find another one.
And she knows when she's done too. So that was the end of the monologue. That was really good. There's so much detail in there. She kept going. She knew when she was done. And yeah, Tina Fey, for example, is a really good monologist because she has the mind of a comedian, because she's someone who observes. She's someone who has a point of view of something. That all came out of her mouth because she noticed it at the time or thought about it. Notice your point of views. That's why Seinfeld is a famous comedian, because he's the big, person, observational comedy. I wonder how young they were here. Okay. Tina's clearly doing an offer of tennis. Okay. That's fun. You'd have a lot of fun with grunts in tennis. So, based on what I know about improv, is Amy is most likely going to heighten what Tina just did. When you start an improv scene with an action or a word or a sentence, there's already so much there that you can pick from, and you might even recognize where your scene is going to go based on that first sound, line, movement. So yes, most likely Amy's going to grunt hard and hit it back, maybe louder. Either way, she's going to mirror it. Yeah, there it is. It even sounded a little bit sexual. Tina might take that and be like, okay, I'm going to exaggerate that now and make that even more sexual. Maybe 10% exaggerate it for now. Because she's not going to go to 100%. The build-up is the fun part. Yeah. Yeah, so now they're just exaggerating that and it's going in a direction. And you can see, I don't remember his name, guy in the background pulling up a chair. That was fun. Amy played with timing there, which is fun. And now, the back line is coming in, reacting how you'd think a man would react watching this. It's fun back and forth. Hurry!
Hurry up, Ronnie, hurry up. Come on, get off the cart, Ronnie.
Come on, hurry up, pick up the ball. That's a lot of fun, how he's playing along really quickly and immediately. That's an improv brain. That's a yes and brain. His face. Okay. Sorry, I'm pausing it again because that's something called push-pull. There might be other words for that. But basically what push-pull is they're playing the game. Yes, they're playing tennis, but there's also a game. And a game of a scene is kind of a joke that gets heightened throughout the scene. And this happens a lot in long form, which is what they're doing here is long form. The game of the scene here is Amy and Tina heightening the grunting noises that they're doing. The pull is when we're getting away from that game for something else, something real to bring us back into the world. Now we're back into the world of tennis because Ronnie ran onto the scene and grabbed a ball. That was funny. Now we're back to the push again. And they're going to restart their game with more grunting and exaggerate that even more, I assume. Yeah, and it's funny every time.
Oh, yeah.
Amy introduced a word. Yes. Oh, now we got sentences and words. Exaggerating. Now they're just saying, just exaggerating, they're just saying full sentences that have nothing to do with tennis. Why not? I don't know what that is. That was a perfect place to end that. That was a perfect place to end that right there, because at that point, where do you go from there?
Okay, so I know I'm in a new spot and wearing different clothes. It's a different day. Basically, my footage at the end was blurry, so I just wanted to redo it. It's fine. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you really enjoyed it. We talked about terms and we learned some new terms like push-pull, getting the get, the back line, yes and. We talked about the Armando format. We talked a little bit about the game of the scene. If you liked this, oh my god, do I have like sweat on my arm? Okay, I could do more of these. I can talk about different cool actors and improvisers that are famous and let you know if they're good or bad. David Letterman needs to work on his improv. Inside joke about okay. Please give a thumbs up, please. Please do that. You can comment. Have you ever watched an improv show before? I want to know. Let me know what it was like. Was it weird and scary, or was it hilarious and you were like, let me do that now? Let me know, and if you want to subscribe, you can, and share the video, whatever. Thank you so much, everybody. I love you. Bye-bye.